Hey Wargamers, welcome back. Purple Druid here with another Monday Night Miniatures video for you. And tonight I just wanted to show you some of the things I'm working on. First of all, we have the Fantasy Grid board right here with some of our foam core terrain set up. And these are the Shoreline pieces that I recently made. And I have to apologize, I'm using a different camera stand because the battery on my stupid light went out. So anyway, should be able to see this. So we can set up our water, our shoreline, like so. Or I've got extra pieces, so we can do this, or we can do this, or I can slide this one in here, and then we can put this one here. So what I do need though is one of these. You can't see this, can you? You can't see the last one. There we go. So in this spot here, I need a blue one. Also, theoretically, I could move all of these in some. And then we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dark blue squares to represent the water, in case we want to have any kind of naval things. So I thought what I would do is take these extra ones, flip them over, and paint the bottoms blue. And so I'll paint all those blue on the bottom, and then I have some extra pieces here. This is a terrain piece I did as a little test of the Vallejo Dark Earth stippled. The effect is pretty good, I think, for rough terrain. And it looks like I need one more. Probably 6. There we go. So yeah, so I'll paint those dark blue, and then we'll have our water. And I've got some little sailing ships downstairs that we can make this part of the Imaginations campaign. So looking forward to that. In addition, I have some chess pieces that I found, and so I'm going to paint these up. These will come in gray, as you see here, and then I'll have red and blue, and so they can represent a fortress on the board. We can play a little siege. We can even get fancy, and if we want to call this level of game the strategic level, we can use this board for a more tactical level. I do have another board measured off in 1-inch grid that is 16 by 20, and then I also have 4 of those 16 by 20 boards replicating this, where each of these squares is 6 inches. So we can have a variety of scales, a variety of different ways that room can be utilized. And I think this one will be a lot of fun to bring to cons, specifically because the size is small. It's an easy way to teach the game, and you can also teach people how to play mass combat with their favorite RPG using a game board like this. So let's get this out of the way. this is the current project for this week. I'm going to finish doing up. These are the Confederate representations. These are RISK pieces from, I believe it's the 1993 edition. So you get a cannon, and you get these fun little cavalry. And then you also get an infantry unit, which I don't have an infantry handy. Oh, right here. So the infantry here, all of the infantry, at least for the black powder, they're all mounted 1 per stand. Leaders are mounted 1 per stand, and then the cavalry troops are mounted 2 per stand. And that way, there we go, that's better. That way we have lots and lots of infantry, and again, we can scale these in different ways. We can call these, theoretically, these could be individual 10mm troops. We could say that each of these is 10 men, and we can form these up into companies. So there's 50, and so on and so forth. I believe I have 45 of these infantry soldiers, at least prepped. So if these were individual figures, this could be, a squad of 10. We could call that a company of 100. We can call this a regiment of 1,000. We could stack it up like this. And call that a regiment of 600. We could make it 800. We can make it 900. So there's a lot of different ways that we could do this. We can even say that is a regiment all by itself. There's another regiment here, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of flexibility with this particular layout, this particular system of setting up your minis. I kind of want to go back, though. I may go back and make some more that are 2 per base. And that way these single unit per base stands can represent skirmishers or scouts or something else. And then the actual line infantry would be represented by two infantry on 1 stand. But that's something I'm going to have to think about. I do have plenty of these guys. I have plenty of these are just 1-inch rounded corner. I believe they are 2 millimeters thick. And I got these from Amazon. Very cheap. I want to say it was like $10, $9 for 500 of these little chips. So I've already used over 100 for making tokens, for Fistful of Lead. I used a couple hundred more for these. I still have a couple hundred left. And yeah, so that's where we are right now. We'll be doing some more. I wanted to show you one more thing. The crackle paint. I know I was talking about this on Twitter earlier. This was my first experiment. I painted the crackle paint on fairly thick and then immediately went over it with the yellow. When I did that, however, it kind of got smeary. So I'm like, okay, I need to try that again with less. So this side, I used less of the crackle medium. And the crackle medium I'm using is this one from Folk Art. I want to say this was $2.99 at Joann Fabrics. $2.99 plus I had to wait in line about 20 minutes because it was really busy on Sunday. Okay, so anyway, this is the second attempt with a thinner coat of crackle medium, and then I waited 3 minutes and painted the cream color over top. And so that's the pattern we got for that. Now you can see where it was thicker here, it kind of cracked around, and then you can see where it was thinner over here. We get maybe a little bit more cracks, but then here, I don't know. So we're going to continue to experiment with this, and I think what I might do is I may paint this side light blue and go over it with the crackle medium and let it set for 5 minutes this time, and then paint it with this midnight blue. And I had read a couple of comments online, especially because the instructions they give you say to let it dry for an hour before you paint the top coat on, but if you do that, you don't get any crackle at all. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to paint them light blue, paint the medium over, and do it very much in a streaky fashion, and then paint the blue over top of that. And I'm hoping to get striations or lines of cracks, maybe at a gentle curve, or a little bit of a waviness to it of the lighter one showing through, and that might look pretty cool for the deep water portions of our grid. So that is the project for this week. I am going to focus on getting these done. After these Confederates are done, I have another group of similar size. I want to say 8 or 10 cannons, 6 or 7 leaders, 8 or 10 cavalry, and I believe there are only 30 infantry. But those are going to be painted in red, and so those will represent the English. If I want to do a Napoleonics, I can use the blue ones and the red ones. If I want to do Civil War, I can do the gray ones here with the blue ones. So lots of flexibility. I can even do Waterloo. I can use these grays as the Prussians. So the beauty part is that they're pretty generic. I mean, these are definitely Napoleonic with that hat. Are you in focus? Let's see. Can you see that? What happens if I get this out of the way? Let's get a little closer here. You know what? Let me try to zoom in. No, this just wants to wiggle too much. All right, but in any case, they're definitely... Oh, there we go. Wow, we had it for just a second. Stupid computer. Anyhow, definitely not Civil War minis. However, painted up and at arm's length, no one will know the difference. So again, I'm really looking forward to using these for some more play tests with the siege research. Oh, one more thing. Hold on. All right, well, that was dumb. I stopped the whole thing. Anyway, maybe I'll drop some images in there. Get these paints out of the way. So I found this book, Siege Warfare, Fortresses of the Early Modern World, 1494 to 1660. So this should be a lot of fun to read. It's in great shape. I actually got it in the mail from a bookstore in Rockford, Illinois, which I'll be visiting over Christmas time to see my fam. So I'm going to be hitting this bookstore, and maybe they have some more old war books, old history books, old war game books. But anyway, this is going to help inform the Siege game. Wargame Campaigns here by Mr. C.S. Grant. This does not have, as far as I've read anyway, so far, any information about doing sieges. However, it does have a whole chapter on finances. So we're definitely going to be giving this a look, and this will get a review on the Substack. And then when it comes to sieges, of course, we do have the basic abstract style here in the Solo Wargaming Guide. And then Mr. Henry Hyde, his Wargaming Campaigns book, he actually has, I believe, 2 different ways to do it. One is just abstract numbers, but we'll go through and play out this way too. So that should give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe 6 different ways that will play out some different sieges, and then use those rules to incorporate into the Fantasy Grid game and the HEXTRAIL campaign game. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure and hit that subscribe button, and do check out the Substack, the Design Journal. We've got a lot of great content lined up for that, including more rules for Fantasy Grid coming up real soon, as well as another playtest. So thanks so much. Have a great Thanksgiving. Be safe out there if you're traveling, and keep on gaming.